Hi everybody, in this video I will be making a man's casual button-up shirt, and it'll have short sleeves, 2 pockets on it, a collar, and I think that's about all the little things that we need to worry about. Now, I don't normally follow instructions, so this is going to be a little different for me because I'm going to try and stick to the instructions as closely as possible, aside from the alteration that I have to make. Now, the way I'm going to do the alteration, or the adjustment, let's call it the adjustment. I don't know if this is the correct way, but it's what makes sense in my head. So this is what I'm going to do. And then at the end, when it's finished and I send it to my son-in-law, I will have him take a picture, or my daughter take a picture of it and send it so you guys can see what it looks like on him, if they'll do that. So let's get started. Okay, before we get started on the fabric, I wanted to remind you guys that when you start a new project, you need to put in a fresh needle. And what I do is get my bobbins ready ahead of time. So this is the thread I'm using. It's the closest I can get to the color of my fabric. It's a little dark, but when you pull off the one strand, it looks a little better than laying my spool of thread on the fabric. This is how much I have in my bobbin, and I don't think that'll be enough, so I'm going to wind a second. Now I'm using the 7010 Microtex. Okay, I'm taking out the thread I had before, the bobbin, and when I place my bobbin in, I'm going to place it like this. It goes through the little groove and then comes up to the left. Hold the tail end of the thread coming through your needle. Don't pull it, just allow it to go through, and when the needle comes back up, pull that thread, and then you can grab the bobbin thread. And then your machine is ready. Now I'm going to put this away and get the fabric up here. I don't know if you can see that, but I am doing view A, this one here, and you'll have the layout here. Hope you guys can see that. So you have the layout for the 44 to 45 inch wide fabric, and then one for the 58 to 60. Mine is the 58 to 60, and so they explain how to lay it out here. This is your selvage, this is your fold, and then you'll lay the pieces out like this. And then I have interfacing, which I'll have to interface piece 16 or 6 and piece 7. Okay. For this shirt, I need pieces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So number 7 is the front facing And you can see how my pattern is lying flat. I always iron my pattern pieces before I start because little wrinkles and stuff can affect things. So I like to make it as accurate as possible. So you can press out your pattern pieces, but don't use steam because steam will wrinkle them and it'll cause fit issues. So I turn my steam off, and it kind of adds an electric charge to the patterns, and they'll kind of like stick in place. So 6, 7, 8, number 3, number 2, number 5 is under here, the loop, piece 4 and piece 1. So that's what we're going to start with, and we're going to lay them out just like the instructions say. On each pattern piece, you will see this line, and this is your grain line, and that right there shows you that you are supposed to lay this piece in the direction of the length of the fabric. So when you lay them down, make sure this is showing the length of it, or along the length of it. It can also be used when you're laying the piece down. You can measure from the grain line to the fold or to the raw edge, and make sure they're equal distances at each end to make sure that your pattern piece is straight along the grain. So those are the reasons that's the reason those are there. All right, everybody. I wasn't able to finish recording the cutting out because something happened with my phone, and it stopped. I was probably out of storage, so I had to move things around. But I just wanted to explain. In my video, you saw me cutting this out. So this is where I extended the shoulders. And because I extended the shoulders, I had to make sure I extended this out as well. And then because I did this and I wanted the measurement to be correct on my sleeve, I went ahead and extended this and then tapered back into the waist. And because I did all that, I had to do it to the front to make sure that this sleeve, the shoulders match up front and back. So now that we did all this, now you'll notice that these two pieces are face down, and I forgot to point that out. On the instructions, it shows that those pattern pieces are face down, and they'll look different than the others. So if you do this shirt or any other garment, take note of that. Be sure to read your instructions carefully. Now I'm going to mark all of my pieces. So what that means is I'll be cutting out the notches, and I'll be putting these, marking these circles here. And I'm going to show you one of my favorite tools I've had for a little while. Someone gave it to me. I don't know who gave it to me, but it marks those things, and it's pretty cool. I don't know how old it is. It's called a Tacket pattern marker. So this is how it works. I don't know if I want to use, I was thinking maybe a red so that it doesn't show up too bright, but I want to be able to make sure I can see it. So I'm going to slide this under the pattern and on top of the fabric and behind the fabric. That way I'm marking both pieces of the fabric at the same time. So you see it's right there, and I have it underneath and then on top of the fabric, and I did an extra large. So technically I should probably put it here, like there. See if you see how it goes, and I added a little bit more, so probably there. Let's hope I'm not wrong. See if it worked, and you can see the mark right there. If it's not dark enough, you might want to either go through it again or go behind afterwards and use a pencil, a marking pencil. So that's what I'm going to have to do with all these pieces now, and then clip out these areas here. Now sometimes people like to just put like one little slit here, but I've tried that before. I lose them. I can't find them. So I'm just going to cut out my triangles.